Everyone, welcome to Random Access Megan. I am Megan. Thank you for joining me today. What I'm going to go over is my trip to Napa Valley this last weekend. I'm sure you saw my Instagram stories. If you didn't, don't worry. I will be posting some pictures along with this post. That being said, what I wanted to go over is just Napa Valley. It was my first time going. I went with a group of 10 girls and it was so much fun. I shouldn't say girls, more like ladies. It was so much fun. We went for a bachelorette party, but it wasn't one of those crazy ones where everyone's just messed up and silly. This was more of having an intimate time with you and your best girlfriends all weekend long. Very classy and very fun. And the thing about Napa, you can take a good picture anywhere. So it is a blogger's dream. It is a selfie-obsessed dream to attend such a beautiful place and drink tons of wine. So clearly I had a lot of fun because I'm a little late for this post. Sorry, but I wanted to be able to drink a glass of wine during it. Yeah. So anyways, from Chicago, we flew in to San Fran and then had a connector flight to Santa Rosa so that our drive was just a short 1 hour. If we flew into San Fran, it would be around 2 hours. So you do have the option either way, but I did want to throw that out there on how we got there. We stayed at the River Terrace Inn. Yes, I have plenty of notes, just like always. The River Terrace Inn, it was so cute. The food was amazing. They had a restaurant right in the lobby as well as a bar. Food and drinks, bomb.com. Definitely check that place out. And it was so cute. Now, when we got there Thursday, we definitely didn't hit up wineries. So we had 2 full days of wineries, and then right before we left, we went to 1. So Friday and Saturday, we went to 3 wineries. What I'm going to do is just quickly summarize them so that this post isn't 20 minutes long. Just so that you know. Markham Winery is the first one up, and it started with a glass right when we walked into the door. Amazing. And it was a rosé. It was so good. So definitely a great starter. And what happened after that is we had a quick tour, a quick history lesson, and then we were back into the tasting room having more wines. We tried 5 more wines after that tour, and it was really, really cool because the tour had a barrel room, which almost all of them do, and the lighting was amazing for group pictures and just pictures in general. My favorites were the Sauvignon Blanc and the Pinot Noir 2015. They're available on the website, so you can definitely check it out, or when you go to Napa, you can check it out. The second one of the day was Vitucci. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Of course, notes will be down below. But it was such a cool place. Why? It was very spread out and very garden-like. There were multiple buildings that you walked in and out of instead of just being one giant building. So when we walked in, we were a little early, so we got to go to their store that was filled with fresh baked bread, snacks like olives, a huge spread of cheese, like cheese on cheese on cheese. I'm not supposed to eat cheese. I didn't eat bread, but I did get a whole thing of olives that were fresh. And then I got this cheese from France called Permal, P as in Paul, E-R, M as in Mary, O-L. It was cheese that was infused with champagne. Oh my God, just thinking about it right now. Let's take a moment of silence. Okay, we got a lot to cover, but it was so good. And then from there, we got to start our tour, which was a brief history lesson, going out to the vineyard, checking out the grapes. And then from there, we went downstairs to the barrel room for a wine tasting. Another great place to take a picture. So the barrel room was fun. The tasting was amazing as well. We tried we did try 5 wines, 2 whites, 3 reds, and a Bordeaux. Okay, so I lied. And the Bordeaux was actually very much like a port. It was very, very strong. And it was pretty tasty. So we did try quite a few wines. My favorite, surprisingly, was their Chardonnay. I'm not a Chardonnay fan. I'm a Pinot Grigio fan. And the reds were very bold and very vintage-like, so I actually didn't like any of the reds, but my friends did. I, of course, tried everything. I'm not a big Merlot. I'm not a big Chardonnay fan, but the thing about going to these wineries is going in with an open mind and trying them, because you just never know. You may be trying the wrong wines. So very fun, very, very fun. So definitely check that out. And then the third was Domain Chandon, which is the champagne company owned by Moet. And that tour, it started with a tour, and then from there we had our own table for the 10 of us to have a tasting. So the tour it wasn't super long, but it was definitely in depth on how champagne is made, and it was so cool. I learned so much new stuff because I had no idea the methods in which they take the yeast out of the bottle. I don't want to spoil it, but definitely one to check out. And we tried 6 different champagnes. We also tried a red sparkling wine. It was so good. Everything was good, from Brut to Rosé to the red sparkling wine. I did not have any complaints on what was served, but that's just me. I am one of those people that loves Prosecco, loves champagne, so I'm not that picky, but others in the group were a little bit more picky on that end. We did go to lunch at Redwood. It was a really cool place, connected to a hotel. Very, very unique vibe, and there were a lot of people there. They ordered a bunch of, my group ordered a bunch of appetizers, shareables, like meatballs, ricotta, no, not ricotta, burrata. They also shared pizza. It was all gone by the end of the day, so they loved it. And then what I shared with my friend was gluten-free pasta. The sauce was great, which was just tomato basil. However, the noodles were undercooked, and I think it was because they were in a rush. They forgot about our meals. The wine that I had there was amazing. Oh no, I did have one. I had Pinot Grigio. Really, really tasty. So definitely a place to check out, because I do think that we were just a fluke. They forgot about our gluten-free pasta, and their food was great. Dinner, we went to Basalt, which is a very high-end American food, I would say, because they had a little bit of everything, from a cheeseburger to lobster risotto to a Cajun type of corn to Cajun shrimp. It was really, 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 really good. Yeah, I would check that out. Basalt. Very tasty. So, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to skim through this, and I'm already 8 minutes in, so I want to get this done. Saturday, we went to Swanson, Franciscan, Robert Mondavi. So I'm going to speed through these. Swanson, super cute, have gardens everywhere, and it's very anthropology, very green, very natural state. We all were like, we should be wearing Free People or Anthropology right now. It was just a wine tasting with education, which was awesome first thing in the morning. We sped through everything in like an hour. My favorites was the Risotto, which is rosé, the Sauvignon Blanc, and the Pinot Grigio, as well as the Pinot Noir. It was a winner in my book, and I know everyone else loved the wines. The Franciscan was another wine tasting with education as they poured. We had a total of 6 wines, which was so crazy, and I almost loved all of them. Almost. There were just a few that didn't hit my favorites, but it was this was probably the funnest I had. I don't know why. Maybe because we had a ton of wine. Maybe it was because of the second. But we had our own room, and so we were able to chit-chat, visit, and not worry about disrupting other people. So my favorites there were the Rosé, the Chardonnay, their blend, Cabernet, and Merlot. Whoa. I liked Merlot. So crazy. So that was really, really fun. To top everything off, or to top off the Saturday, was Robert Mondavi. Now, Robert Mondavi was a 2-hour tour. actually more like an hour and a half, but it felt like 2, especially at the end of the day. We were dying. And then it was finished off with a 5 tastings. And the only wine that I liked was the Pinot Noir. I didn't love, but the tour was really cool. They have a garden, full vegetable garden with tomatoes and everything, basil. They also have a huge vineyard. It for the eye could see with mountains. It was so beautiful, and it was a really cool vibe. Even though the tour was long, it's very educational and really, really cool. So definitely a place to check out. Now the dinner was Ristorante Allegria. We had a private room in the vault. If you Googled it or if you went to their website, they talk about the vault. The vault sat all 10 of us, and we had basically our own private room in the vault, and we just ordered a bunch of things, and it was so good. Such a cool vibe and such good food. So some things that we had: Portobello mushroom, shareable, the crab cakes, the Insulta de Argula was so good. The Gluten Free Pomodoro. Some of the people that weren't gluten free were eating it. It's so funny. They loved it too. And we, of course, added chicken to it. The veal was amazing on top of mashed potatoes and spinach. And the Spaghetti Bolognese. I didn't have it, of course, because it wasn't gluten free, but it was completely gone. Everyone loved it. It was super rich and tasty. Now, how we ended the weekend: on Sunday before we went to the airport, we went to Sterling Winery, which is in the mountains, much different than all the other places we went to. You had to ride a gondola all the way up the hill. Had to. It was amazing. So you go all the way up a hill, mountain, and that's where you do your wine tasting. So you go up into a building, more like a house-ish, a building that has a balcony looking over everything, and you have your wine tasting of about 4 to 5 wines. And then from there, if you have a tour attached to it, which we did, then you do a tour and you have 3 additional wines to try out. And then at the very end, you can go sit down on the balcony patio and order another glass of wine and a charcuterie board. So, of course, we did all of that, and it was so much fun. Beautiful views, trees so the eye can see. It was so awesome. My favorites were the 2015 Chardonnay. What? Very much like a Pinot Grigio, and the 2015 Pinot Noir. And I lied, not very much like a Pinot Grigio. It was very much like a Pinot Gris. So overall, this Napa trip was amazing. I want to go back because I feel like going to 7 wineries, we still have so much to try and so much to see. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to share all the details attached to this video so that you can visit the websites if you like for your future trip. If you felt like this video was helpful, please share it, like it, and of course, subscribe to Random Access Megan. Until next time, everyone, bye.